What is up, my friends? Welcome to this very special edition of the Ice and Iron Whole Health with Rob Carney Podcast. So in this episode, I'm joined by my brothers, my best friends, Eddie Madden, Jordan Chartier, and these two guys have hearts of gold. They're two of the most balanced, creative, intuitive, just whole human beings I've ever met, and I am so incredibly grateful to be connected with them. So shout out to Zavi for introducing us and really allowing us to create this bond together. So in this episode, we talk about the past, present, and future of Ice and Iron. So right around a year ago this time, the three of us linked up. We got breakfast, brunch at the Farmer's Daughter, which is a farm-to-table restaurant in the Boston area, and we created the vision, and Ice and Iron was born. December 2019, we had our first, kind of casual event, kind of getting the loose ends there, figuring it all out. And then January 2020 was our first official Ice and Iron event, and it has just been mind-boggling and humbling to see how far we've come and how far, not only as a Ice and Iron collective, but as the three of us as friends and the three of us as individuals. So I am so grateful for these two. As I said, these are my two best friends. They are just beautiful human beings, inside and out. And I'm so excited for you to hear from them. And if you haven't followed us on Instagram, check out ice_and_iron to see all the latest updates. And if you're in the Boston area, we would love for you to come. We host these wellness meetups once a month. And in 2021, that may boost up to 2. So stay tuned. Hear what Jordan and Ed have to share. Sit back, relax, and here we go. Gentlemen,
here we are.
We've arrived.
So today, it's November, 17th? Wrapping up this year. So we wanted to come together and really, reflect on what's been a crazy 2020, a really empowering, roller coaster of a ride for many people. So specifically, Ice and Iron was born this year. The idea was created in 2019, but this was the creation of Ice and Iron, which feels like it's been a lot longer. So we're excited to, have this conversation, reflect on what has been and what's to come.
Yeah, this is great. We've talked about having a show where we could recap and kind of highlight some of the events that have occurred this year in relation to Ice and Iron. I think what this is it's like a 2020 Ice and Iron State of the Union.
Right.
How it was born, the year it was born in, how it has grown, how at times we let off of the control, we let go of the reins and kind of let community mold this entity that is Ice and Iron. And we're here today to come together and let's give it some awareness. Let's give it some attention, and let's spread the word a little bit of how things have been going this year.
That's right.
And by the way, if you're listening right now, Rob Carney, Eddie Madden, Jordan Chartier, the Ice and Iron Kings,
coming together to deliver the message. And Ed, I'd love for you to kind of give the little recap of what Ice Iron's intentions are. I feel like you articulate the best out of us, but just in terms of how I perceive Ice and Iron, it's just an opportunity for like-minded people to come together and really grow together, and especially in a time where community has kind of disintegrated in the sense that we've been isolated. And something I've been really feeling into lately is the fact that community is essential. There's all these claims about essential businesses, what's essential, what's not essential. I think community is, I know community is essential. So I'd love to hear from both of you, maybe hear your perspective, and you can kind of give the, the mission and the all that around Ice and Iron.
Yeah, absolutely. So, without being redundant, community, collaboration, I feel is way more important and meaningful in the long run than competition. It's good to compete with another in terms of, hey, this guy might be a little stronger than me, or they may be doing something that I can improve upon. But I'm not going to use that as fuel to try to be better than them. I'm going to use that to motivate me. So that's the competition, where we can collaborate and cooperate, which is what we do at our events and what we do together. That brings me up. That feels good. That rings true to me in my heart. So collaborating and joining together, we're stronger together. As our mentor, our boy, who we just got to hang with, Paul Check would say, bees don't make honey alone. And that to me kind of encompasses what we've built with Ice and Iron.
Yeah, I'd like to, before you hop in here, I'd just like to say as well as, as we are facilitators, we're still students. We're students and teachers. That we're learning something from every single person that shows up. So, as people come here, I think they quickly recognize, we're facilitating the experience, but we're not, teaching everything. Like, yeah, we are teaching, but we're not saying we're the teacher, you're the student.
Right.
It's a very fluid exchange of energy that I really enjoy, that there's a lot of people, we all get to learn from there as well. I think that's something I really value about the experience as well, is the fact that we have people coming in who are teaching us. And like you said in the beginning, showing us what they could see more, or they'd like to see more of. And that really helps us to be better facilitators, better teachers, by being a student. So just want to throw that out there before you bring it all home, Ed.
Yeah. Bees can't make honey alone. I love that. And I also think that, I believe that the way of Ice and Iron cannot be spoken.
Right.
We have tried our very best to say Ice and Iron is the name, but really it's not, right? It's just the two most generic words we could come in that really open up the categories. They open up the need to ask questions. What is going on? Why ice? Why iron? So to back up a little bit, what is it all about? For me, it's about what do I want to do with my life, right? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to be with? When am I the best version of myself? I've noticed through conditioning, being raised in Boston, construction family, bar industry, coaching football, being in the machine of capitalistic America, materialism, competition. Competition breeds conflict at every level. And that's probably one of the biggest illusions that we don't realize. That's why I love what you said, Jordan. Community and collaboration. When I'm the best version of myself, I'm not alone. If I can remember that I'm never alone, right? There are people out there that want to contribute, come together and build community. So me personally, I like eating good food, I like playing, I like laughing, and I like hanging out. And I'm 34 as an adult, I start to notice that I'm really lacking community and opportunities to hang out. And a big piece of Ice and Iron, in addition to hanging out, playing, is coming together and learning and growing yourself, becoming aware of yourself, being aware of who you are, being aware of where you want to go. There is no ceiling to human development. You can go in any direction you want, and it can't be done alone. So Ice and Iron was, we said, if we build it, they will come, right? Who is they? They are the hearts out there that are looking for something else. They're the hearts that are just like ours that were saying, man, I wish I had a group of people where I could hang out with, right? I wish I could find a constructive atmosphere to engage in community. On the contrary, bar life, sports bars, watching your favorite sports team, I could go on and on and on, are actually community and destructive atmospheres. You're destroying yourself with processed foods. You're destroying yourself with maybe violent music, programming on TV. What we really want to do is come back into humanity. So Ice and Iron for me was an opportunity for me to feel more human again, to look brothers and sisters in the eye, to challenge myself with things I'm not really familiar with, to have conscious discussions around the world, feelings, your heart, things that you want to do and not sure if you ever will be able to, taking on new tasks, just growing myself. talking to people that have, different interests. That's what, for me, being human is all about. So Ice and Iron was me coming to my boys, my brothers here and saying, I want to hang out. I want to have a party. I want to use my skills as a coach and everything I've learned in this holistic education journey I've been on for so long to just hang out. I don't want to steal the flag and say, hey, I want to teach everybody this, fall in line. No, I want to offer something in hopes that someone else is going to have something also unique to offer. And that's just me. That's what I want to do with my life. If I would have an Ice and Iron event every day if I could, because if that would mean meeting new people, getting out of my comfort zone, learning a new subject, finding a new code, I could go on. You guys know what it's about.
Yeah, and I think one of my favorite parts about Ice and Iron is how it started off as just a men's group. It was just a men's group. That's what it was, because we saw what people were doing in LA, and Sedona, Arizona, all these other areas where they had men's groups, and seeing the power in that, and how women tend to do things together. They whatever their girls' night out type of deal is, but not many men really come together to have such events. So we kind of saw that there was a void in there, and we wanted to fill that void. Like you said, if we build it, they will come, and sure enough, they did. January 2020, we had our first event. I think it was 23 degrees outside, cold day. I think we had including us, maybe 10 people there, which is really cool. Then February, we come along, 16-degree day, a little colder. Still people coming up. March we had an event, and then things shut down. So just as we were starting to get some momentum, there were more people coming every single time. Correct. And then, lockdown happened. So we took some time off as we were trying to, really get to grips as to what's really going on here. So we took, I think it was 2 months off, 3 months off maybe. And then upon that, we decided to open it up to women, because there was some interest from women saying, why can't we go? We want to go too. That looks like a lot of fun. And so then it was either June, I think it was June or July, one of those months we ended up reopening Tyson and I, but to everyone. Because at this time, like we were saying before, in a time of isolation, we're not going to exclude anyone from this. But, before we get too far ahead, we've also come to the realization there still is great value in the men's groups. So, we plan for 2021 to start doing 2 events per month, one for just men and one for co-ed. So, yeah, with that being said, it's just been a great journey of growth throughout this year. And really, kind of what Ed said, is just a way to hang out. And basically the stuff that the 3 of us were doing by ourselves, and then we realized, you'd have a friend over here, we invite someone there, and all of a sudden we're like, wait a second, why don't we just let everyone come in? So, at this point, we've built such an incredible community of people that are students, teachers, facilitators, healers, leaders in so many different avenues, experts in many different fields that have been able to come together and really just harmonize together over this event. And, it's really exciting moving forward to see the community that we've created, and, how it's really just getting started. Like we talked about this last event, we're just building the roots right now. Like we haven't even broke through the soil yet. We haven't even got to the surface. We're in the very early stages, still setting that foundation. I think that's something that, it's easy to get caught up in saying, oh, we're not there yet. This event isn't that big yet. We have our vision of where we want to go, and we're just getting started. That's really, really a cool place to be, and I'm excited to, continue with that. And, Jordan, I'd love to have you chime in and hear your thoughts on everything this year.
Yeah. So it's really been an honor to, like you guys both just put so well, connect with others that bring us up, right? Every time someone shows up that's new, I learn something from them. To be able to look someone in the face and hear their story. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's going through something, right? We all may look different. Everyone in this room right now and everyone that shows up to our events, we look different. We come from different backgrounds, right? We might do different lines of work and be interested in some different things, but we're all human. We're really all the same, and we are all one. And it's been such a honor, again, to really be able to connect with you both and grow together as individuals and as a group, as a collective. And that's what I see Ice and Iron as, an entity where we all grow. We're all empowered. It's like an empowering, such an empowering experience that it's tough to really put in words, but it's just something amazing that I'm excited for the future. That's how I feel. I feel like right now, it's good to be present in a beautiful studio with my brothers that I love, and looking forward to the future. Looking forward to growing together.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
One thing I'd say that I kind of came to the conclusion of after we were at Buddy Pat's house on his own little homestead is that we're kind of creating a little ecosystem, an ecosystem for human growth. He's creating an ecosystem for, planetary growth, enhancing his own little microclimate there. We're creating our own little microclimate in Ice and Iron, and recognizing the fact, there's a lot of people that come to Ice and Iron the first time very hesitant. You can see by their body language, they're kind of like, do I really want to do this? Do I want to be here? Then as the day goes on, they open up.
Right.
And I think that's one of the most empowering things to me, just as someone who loves to observe people, just noticing people that come in like this and leave like this.
Yeah.
And some people that, walk in there not as confident maybe, and then open up and, share for 10 minutes. I think, during that ceremony we had, it's like, it's really cool to just see that level of just evolution within individuals and obviously within ourselves. But, just recognizing the people that keep coming back. Like, they're coming back for a reason. They're not just coming back to come back. Like, something happens. And we've had a lot of testimonies of people sharing, like, first time they felt alive in however many years. First time they felt really connected in X amount of years or months or whatever it is. But just a lot of personal and collective growth, which is, like you said, you can't really capture in words. It's an experience that is felt. Right. And I think that's really, in an intellectual age where we tend to live in our heads, it kind of goes contrary to that it's, it's hard to put it into words, and we can explain it so much, but the best way to, really learn about what we're doing is to be a part of it. Show up.
I see it right now as a human connection and potential seeking support group. And support groups have a stigma where people are coming to recover from trauma. If I think that if anyone thinks they're not recovering from trauma, they should probably go spend a little time in the mirror and see if they can find some. Because we've all been traumatized in different ways. And the way to really connect to that and break through that is connection, right, and realizing your own potential. So that's what my house has been. It's just been an incubation chamber from myself and the people I love, Rob, Jordan, and others. When you guys come over, I want to nourish myself and the people, my guests, with connection, ideas, and activities, right? That's what Ice and Iron really was. I want to have more people come through. So Ice and Iron really has 4 major pillars. It starts with energy building, then it goes into movement, then we move into breath work, and then the icing on the cake, which is really exciting and novel for all, is an ice tub, right? So those 4, energy building, movement, breath work, and cold immersion, which gets you out of your comfort zone, are really what we thought would be the 4 pillars to bring people together. That would attract new people in. And Jordan, what you said, I mean, to see a new person come, anytime there's someone new in the group, I can't even get my energy off of them. I'm just drawn into them, and I'm drawn into their experience. Not really as I'm trying to judge them and see out of what is their critique looking like from my perspective. It's more like, wow, I'm really just trying to feel into their energy. I'm so grateful to have them at our home. And even though it's my home, on Ice and Iron days, it's our home, right? It's our home. And the working in, the movement, the breath work, and the ice, like we said, those don't, that's the tip of the iceberg.
Right. I
mean, what I want to do in life, as many days as possible, right? Do what you love. Love what you do. It's not work if you love it. To me, that's those 4 things, plus connection, plus storytelling. I love music. I want to dance. I want to cook food. I want to snack. I want to make drinks. I want to play with supplements. I want to, expand my consciousness. I want to have cool sensations. I mean, that's what a kid is. A kid wants to have social connection. A kid wants to have new experiences, and a kid wants to really just lose himself to novelty, right? And that's what I want to do. The little kid in me wants ice and iron to happen as often as possible. The adult in me doesn't really like cleaning up and setting up, right? But that's, the price to pay. And as we know, we're so charged up from it, right? Ice and iron has been one of the greatest things we've ever done. And it started by us just coming together, having lunch, and saying, we need to do something. Like you said, Jordan, on the way down here. We can't overpass the ball. We got to take some shots, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's got ideas, right? Mm-hmm. There are hundreds of millions of people with little books like this that write down ideas every time they get a little inspiration. And you know what? There's thousands of them, right? People are dying. All the ideas are in the cemeteries, right? Mm-hmm. Let's take the initiative, right? Before we're in the ground pushing up daisies. Mm-hmm. And I'm so grateful and honored to have taken the initiative on Ice and Iron, even though those two words really don't, involve everything that it's all about, because it is all about just a holistic human connection, potential seeking support group where we just want to play and let go of control. Let's just see what happens. Yeah. Let's let it grow.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and I think to that point of the 4 pillars, one thing that we talked about before is where the magic really happens is in the space in between those pillars. And the space, in between the activities where people get to chat for a few minutes, teach someone about their cool little, whatever workout they're doing, whatever movement they're doing. It's in that space that I think that the magic really happens. And, like we talk about, we have like a loose framework.
Right.
And
we call it structured freedom.
Structured freedom. And the one thing I remember from one of our first events is that event where we're all doing different movements. Or one of the funniest videos.
We got to clip that video into this so that way we can, because that was the best laugh I've had all year.
We looked like we may or may not have been doing some heavy
culty type activities.
We were on something.
There's a bunch of people, just for people listening, it's just, we had this session where it's like, all right, we're going to do movement for 15 minutes, whatever you want.
It was cold as fuck outside.
It was a 16-degree day, so we're inside doing the movement. We have people doing seal jumping jacks, people doing mace work, there's
Qigong, tapping. Yeah. It looked like, you went into some realm where everyone has lost their mind and they're not sure if they're ever going to find it again. And it was in my living room and in my gym. It's like, Jesus Christ, what did we create here?
But at the time, it looked so normal because everyone's doing the thing. But on video, it was like, what is happening?
It did. So something that's coming up right now for me is you guys are talking about overthinking. And as we had to talk on the way here, planning our next move, overpassing the ball. It's good to be prepared, right? But sometimes it's good to take the shot. So we're doing what feels good. That's what I see as a fact. We're doing what feels good and sharing what has worked for me. That's what I intend to do, is share what works for me. I don't have all the answers. I don't think anybody does. But love doesn't think, right? So that's kind of where I'm at, and where I feel we are at as a collective, is just acting and being, doing.
Love doesn't think, and love isn't worried about how love is going to work out.
Right.
Amen.
Yes.
Right? Aho. Omateo.
Omateo. Do what feels good. That's what we're doing.
If it feels good, that's where you should be.
Right.
If you're not excited about your path, guess what? It's not your path.
Mm-hmm.
If your job doesn't scare you a little bit, it's probably the wrong job.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, well, I want to touch on what you were saying, where we are as a collective. I was thinking about this morning before we got together, was just the fact that, we're kind of reaching the point where we can communicate without verbiage.
Mm-hmm.
When someone's got to fill up the ice bath, it's like we're tapped in. Like it's, we have a little look. We have a little, we kind of just make eye contact, a little gesture, like it's nonverbal.
We're in harmony.
Exactly. We're so connected, especially on Ice and Iron Day. It's just like we're tuned into the same frequency that it's really cool to kind of sit back and be like, people are having the conversations, and we're having a whole nother conversation non-verbally.
Right.
Just like structuring things. All right, you're going to do that, you're going to do that. But it's like we just know.
On point.
Well, the
On
construction of a container, for me, Rob, going to lots of different retreats, whether it's in Big Sur or on the East Coast, in my mind, the goal or the role of the facilitators is to hold the container together. And me, personally, when I think of container, I think of the Millennium Falcon, right? We got one person at the gunner, two guys in the cockpit. Let's make sure the container is safe. And then we got everybody coming up to establish the mission for the day, right? We just need to hold the container together, allow the structure so that way the freedom can take place inside. And then whatever blooms and grows out of that, that's the magic. That's why we do it. And it has exceeded expectations
100%.
in every way,
100%.
right? As a football coach, I like to say a great team is a team that exceeds expectations, right? Our team, Rob Carney, Jordan Chartier, we have exceeded all the expectations that I, Eddie Madden, have ever had for Ice and Iron. And I think the purpose here today is to come together, honor each other, honor the mission, honor and appreciate the adversity that we could never have expected in 2020 with lockdowns, with all the fear that is actually false evidence appearing real in my mind. And we broke through that, right? Courage is just believing the unknown, right? Leaning into the unknown, right? And we were courageous, and we're keeping it going. The Keep It Going box, that's like our favorite. That's our favorite logo of our time. We got to keep it going, right? We just want to keep the ball rolling. We got ups, we got downs. Oh, we had 6 people. Oh, we have 26 people. Oh, it's 13 degrees out. Oh, it's 80 degrees and sunny. Oh, there's 6 inches of snow in November. Jordan, we got to meet up the night before and shovel the front lawn. I mean, like my neighbors didn't already think we were out of our minds, right? But that's what it is. Up and down, keep it rolling, keep it going. Where are we going, Jordan? Where do you think Ice and Iron's going?
We're going all the way up.
We're going all the way.
We're shining the light, and we're bringing anybody that wants to come join us. That's what I envision.
We can't do it alone, right? I want to see new people with new interests come out to play, right? We're just playing in the park. I want to see, remember like the movie Sandlot, right? That new kid, he was nervous. He didn't want to join the baseball team, the pickup baseball team. And look what happened. He was such a unique contribution to that group. Great story, right? And that's what it's all. If there's one thing that I want this conversation to do, is to inspire somebody to get a little out of their comfort zone and come and bring their magic into our circle, because we don't have all the magic. No.
We have the container.
If we build the container, we hope the magic will come.
Right.
And in order for people that haven't been to Ice and Iron yet in Quincy, Mass, we need your magic. Believe in your magic. Believe in yourself. Believe in your potential. Believe in the little kid inside you that wants to come play with a bunch of kids he doesn't know, like that kid in the Sandlot. Just come play. Watch what happens. It's going to be amazing.
And on the other side of that too, there's the magic of the people that return. Like we said in the beginning, the people that show up one way and leave another way and come back a second time a completely different person.
Yeah.
And I think one thing about that I really appreciate is, again, I love to observe. So just seeing 2 people like, I think you're at the last event, but we never really chatted. And all of a sudden now they're just chatting it up for like 15 minutes straight in the kitchen or outside the ice bath or wherever it is. But I think that also is that, just watching these friendships blossom. And, there was a women's retreat that happened, outside of Ice and Iron from a lot of gals that attended Ice and Iron. And, that was cool to see, like, wow, these people became friends because of our container.
Right.
We had a container that allowed for these new friendships to manifest. And, as again, we can keep going back to this in a day and age where it's tougher and tougher to connect with people, especially in person. To have a container that you can meet new people, and we talked about this before, it's bizarre that this has been, the past 8 months, however long it's been, that it's abnormal to just hang out with people. It's abnormal to meet new people in person.
Yeah. And
that's crazy. And we are being courageous, as you said, to hold that space and create a container where people can do that. And, whether you come to Ice and Iron, we've had people who said, I saw the ice bath, that's why I came. I saw the breath work, that's why I came. They usually pick a reason why they came, but they leave with many more reasons to come back. And I think that when we do our closing circle at the end, that is always one of the most magical pieces of the entire day, where people say, I came for this, but I'm coming back for 30 times more reasons than why I came. And, you know, the last, you know, closing circle we had, I was just blown away by the creativity that the community is now creating, thinking, oh, what if we do this? What if we do that? It's not just us leading the ship anymore. We have a lot of co-captains who are leading the ship with us, creating a lot of little tugboats, a lot of little speedboats on the side that are
outgrowths,
and bring in new people. You know, I think another, you know, I can talk about all the cool things I love about Ice and Iron, but I love when someone brings someone new.
Yeah.
Because they loved it so much that they went out of their way to either pick someone up. You know, they drove 25 minutes to pick up their friend to come here, or they took the time to get on the phone, call them up, say, hey, I'm going to this Ice and Iron thing. I think you'd like it too.
Yeah.
And that's incredible.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I would love to hear both, because we talk all the time.
Right.
We're always constantly in communication, because that's how we harmonize each other. That's how we can show up as a unit and hold space for when we do have, you know, an event. What was some of, I'd like to hear, you know, Jordan, like when you think about the Ice and Iron, you just kind of, you know, to see all the visions come through. What were some of your, like personally, one of your favorite things? Whether it's you doing a farmer's walk, flipping a tire, or, you know, me watching the little kids play. That's one of my favorite parts, to see little kids playing with the ice, just to have the energy of youth around us.
And when Ed says little kids, he means little kids, not like the inner child within us, but people's children come to these events with their parents.
Exactly. So sometimes we have little kids. So that's one of my favorite things. What about you, Jordan? What are the things that you look back, the visions you see that really bring pleasure to your heart?
So the safe environment where it's really an honor to see someone feel so open to share something that they broke down. I can recall this person's face, and a lot of love to this person for feeling safe in our container. To break down and share something on this person's mind, to me, was like, wow, we're really doing something. We're not just flipping tires and getting in an ice bath. Like, there's a little more to it. It's kind of like if you look at a yin-yang symbol, like, you know, the balance, night and day, masculine, feminine. That's what we are encompassing at Ice and Iron. So to see one step out of their comfort zone and grow, because that's how we actually do grow. You guys all know this. If you don't, hormesis, or, you know, basically survival of the fittest, right? Get yourself in a ice bath or an uncomfortable environment, such as talking to a new person, trying something new, whether it's ice or breath work, or maybe some people are new to active meditation. For me, that's very healing. That's my medicine. Not to go off on a tangent on medicine, but that's my medicine, and we're sharing some medicine for the people. So to see one feel comfortable enough to just pour their heart out to us, that's amazing, and that's really an honor. It's a sacred thing that it has to be experienced. For anybody that's listening, this is the message for you, to come show up and try something new.
Agreed. And, you know, I'm glad that you said the medicine piece, because I think that is, you know, it's a form of medicine. You know, community is immunity. You know, community is medicine. Collaboration is medicine. You know, meditation can be medicine. Spring water can be medicine. You know, whatever your medicine is, this is a form of medicine. Plain and simple. And one thing that of course, so many things I could say, but the first thing that came to my mind is I love the diverse cast of characters that comes out to Ice and Iron. You know, we have giant jacked football players coming out that are 19 years old, at the peak of their testosterone, just want to get a freaking workout in and, you know, flex their muscles. And then we have some people who are, you know, on the opposite end of the spectrum, in a very yin state, where maybe they're very introverted, they're shy, they're timid. And then we have every cast of characters in the middle. We have people who are in it for the meditation. We have people in it for the ice bath. People who are in it for the workout, for the work game, whatever their reason for coming is. Of course, there's similarities, but a lot of them are very different. I think that's one thing that I really enjoy is just having this wide variety of people coming in from all different walks of life, all different ages. You know, I think we've had 14 years old up until 70 years old.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
And, you know, as you had mentioned from your San Diego experience, you know, having the youth, having the elders, having the masculine, the feminine, you know, to have a community, you know, we can't all be the same. Because if we're all the same, you know, where's the growth in that? You know, you're just reinforcing your same beliefs and you're kind of staying the same.
Right.
So having people from all these different walks of life sharing their experience and their gifts and their medicine with us allows the community, the container, to have more, you know, more seeds that are sprouting, more roots that are digging down, more medicines that can be shared. You know, we have people bringing trampolines, we have people bringing, you know, hula hoops, maces, you know, cacao, whatever they're bringing. Everyone's bringing, not even just physical things, but the energy that they bring, their energy and their gifts that they bring. So, you know, the long answer to that question, Ed, is I love the diverse cast of characters that come through Ice and Iron.
Yeah, it is great. It is. It has been really something. Well, you know, moving into what I really like, some of the highlights that I like, as I mentioned, the kids. You know, music is a big part of it for me. And I think that's something that really means a lot to me. Building a playlist that is soft and allows the group to get into flow. You know, I think that we all have rhythm in our heart, right? And the music is a big part for me. As you guys know, I was in the bar industry for a long time. I took a lot of pride in hiring DJs and hiring the right bands to create the right atmosphere to get people to loosen up, right? To loosen up. So the music is a big thing. And I'm not saying that we're at an ecstatic dance point yet, but just to jam out to music, right? Like I just think about the best times I had as a kid, teenager, vibing, going out with the guys, going out, hanging out with people, my friends. Like music is such a big part of that. To be in a healthy, safe environment, to have music going, to have snacks, hanging out, just chopping it up. That's medicine for my soul, right? And the new people, right? Not to be redundant, but the new people, everybody has a unique talent and skill. Everyone does, right? Individuality is the most sacred truth that is alive on this planet. Everyone has a unique, amazing, intelligent, genius, skill or talent to contribute, right? And if we feel like we're just, you know, we feel alone, we become disconnected to our unique ability to share our talent and skills, and that's what it's just the container. The doors are open. It's a container with open doors. And you know, going forward, right? So we're here on November 17th, right? We have maybe 1 or 2 events left this year, right? And then we have a whole new year to grow. Fellas, what do you guys think for what would we want our audience to know about the remaining events that are left this year? And then, you know, what do you think they should know about where we're going in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say one thing I'd love to touch on before we get into the future is where we are right now as individuals, you know, as we kind of discuss some of the, you know, ideas that have been coming to us, the changes that we've been embarking on, some of the practices we've been working through. And, you know, I think that with the current state of affairs in the world, there's a lot of uncertainty. And there's a lot of, you know, I feel like there's a big fog that's kind of rolling through the general consciousness of people not knowing what's happening, where we're going. You know, people are kind of, you know, just all discombobulated, trying to figure out what's going on and what to do next. And, you know, I myself get caught up on that as well, as we were talking about before we got on here, is like, you know, having some of those thoughts of, I don't want this to happen, I don't want that to happen. Right. But, you know, I'm telling people all day, every day not to do that. I'm telling people to focus on what you do want. And so I kind of came to that realization over the weekend, being up in Vermont with my girlfriend, was, recognizing some of those limiting beliefs and some of those, weeds, I like to call them, the thoughts that are weeds. If the mind is a garden, it's got some weeds in there, some vines that are kind of strangulating some of the positive thoughts, the positive plants in there, and kind of coming to terms that I've been focusing a lot on what I don't want, which is creating a lot of cloudiness in my vision of what I do want. Spending too much time, trying to prepare for kind of doomsday prep in a sense of, as we talked about before, trying to make sure we got all this extra food in case there's a lockdown, buying silver in case the U.S. dollar goes to shit, whatever we're thinking about, which is good to be aware of and good to, be prepared, but not spending so much time and energy on that. And I think it kind of comes down to, you were saying, just taking the shot, just act. Stop thinking so much is the message I've been telling myself. Stop ruminating on your thoughts. Stop thinking about what you would do if this happened and that happened in a negative view. Flip that script to, what can I do now and what can I do to focus on what I do want and start visualizing and manifesting that positive route that I'm going, which, I was doing for a while, but those weeds just kind of slowly crept into a point that I didn't realize that they were encompassing a lot of my mind. So for me personally, I'm really focusing on the rest of this year is just planting as many seeds as I can of positive thoughts, positive, visualizations, manifestations, and creating as much value as I can for people in this day and age, writing more of the children's books like I've been doing, creating more content, just showing up in a way that allows people to see what's possible in an era of, isolation, in a time of you shouldn't be taking risks, in an era of you should be staying home, staying in your lane. But, it's important to continue to try new things and weather the storm. We gotta go through the eye of the storm, because in the eye of the storm, that's where it's the most calm. So we got to getting to that place, I think, is, a big focus of mine, planting as many seeds within my own mind and into the world. So I feel that I'm in a seed planting phase, and I think that also, contributes to what Ice and Iron is. How can we plant as many seeds? We talked about creating a Slack group, which we will be doing, before the next event. A way that we can continue to nourish the people within our community and allow everyone to stay connected. So, Jordan, I'd love to have you share, what's something you've been working on personally and, for the rest of this year. Any intentions?
Well, I guess I can kind of share something on my mind prior to you throwing that out there, which was beautiful. Weed in the garden and focusing on what we want versus what we don't want. So I always make the analogy of a golf shot. Don't think about the woods on the right or the water on the left. Think about how big the fairway is, or the green. Think about this ball's going on the green. Because we all know some people don't. Energy flows where intention goes. Right? So what I see is when we're in our real ceremony, that's what Ice and Iron is to me. It's a ceremony. The garden is weeded every time I show up, and I feel it. I can feel everyone is on that path of enlightenment and evolving and growing our energy and becoming more harmonized, really, to be more in tune with ourselves, with the rhythm of the planet, with each other, with nature. So for me, I get more charged up every time people come and hang with us, because we would do it regardless. We would do it either way.
Absolutely.
So yeah, moving forward, my intentions are to continually share what is working for me and be more authentic, because if you can't be authentic with yourself, you cannot be authentic with anyone. And that's what Ice and Iron is. Everyone's being themselves, because we've created a container that's open, which is a paradox if you think about it. Kind of like Ice and Iron, that people do feel safe to be themselves. And I just want to continue being me. I'm going to continue being me and sharing my message, because that's what the world needs. As you both put it.
Perfect.
We're here to share. We're here to share our love, We're here to hold space and continue growing together.
And like you said earlier, shine the light.
Yeah.
Shine the light of what's possible. Shine the light on the darkness. Not focus on the darkness or get stuck in the darkness. Shine the light into the darkness and say, hey, this is where we're going. We're going to the light. We're not going to get caught up in the foggy darkness. We're going to the light. Like you said, giving the space for that to happen.
I love those points you made. Weeding the garden, planting seeds, the open container, be the love, share, be me, right? Show up to be me. To answer your question, Rob, where are we now, right? I think we're in a lot of places right now. To define we as a humanity, right? On the East Coast, in this country, in this world, I think there's two groups of people, or I'd say there's two moods that can come into your mind and heart. One is one of isolation, one of confusion, one of uncertainty, one of, a lack of guidance, right? The world has a lot of that, right? Just look, socially distance. Don't get too close to the person next to you. Be alone, right? Put a mask on. You're not an individual. We're taking away your individuality. And hey, maybe, it's for safety, right? There's lots of different sciences out there, and that's not what this is about. What it's about for me is just to define that there's a huge group of people, sometimes I'm one of them, who's uncertain, unguided, overwhelmed, and feels alone, right? But there's another group of people, or there's another consciousness that is alive out there, and that is the high road to take, where you're connected, right? Connected, purposeful humans, right? That are empowered with their unique talent, their unique skill, their unique interest, their unique love, right? To feel secure in your own love and your own interests. That will empower you to find courage to show up and join other containers. We have a serious lack of community right now. In 2019, one could go to a bar, one could go to a restaurant with some friends, watching a sports game, and they could feel a sense of community. Right now, we don't have that, right? So Ice and Iron is a place, it's a container to show up and get away from that uncertainty. Oh yeah, the world is pumping all this information at us. In San Diego for the past 4 days, I was able to put the phone down. I've never been so digital detox in my life. And I feel so empowered, so aligned, so centered into my heart and what I want to do. I want to do what I want to love. I want to open up my home. I want my home to be a playland. I want it to be a fun land. I want it to have all kinds of food, all kinds of options, books, ideas, music, dance, play, challenges, strength, new stuff like the sauna. Like I just want to play and do what I love and create, like you said, plant seeds. This show is a seed, right? Aho to Mass Music Radio and Shlomo and James, to hold space for us to help create. We're not doing this alone. Thanks to these guys, we're able to do this and show up. This is just one of the many examples where other people are coming into our life and offering their skills and talents to help all of us grow.
And I think a really key point there is that we talked about doing this ourselves at a kitchen table. How are we going to set up Are we going to have 3 iPhones?
It'd be a shit show.
It'd be a shit show. So we've talked about doing this. And, we have really had this idea for a while. But it just hasn't been able to manifest until the right people came into our life that we were able to create this together. I think that's something that, this year has also shown to me. It's okay to outsource. It's okay to, step out of being in control of everything. It's okay to, let other people do what they're good at. I'm decent at, creating content and, putting a podcast together. I'm okay at it. But, why not let an expert take the reins? Why do we have to do it? Just because I'm okay at it and sufficient, there's people out there that are better. And, one thing I like that you said, that there's many different sciences out there. And in an age where, kind of come back, there's a fog going around. The way I'm feeling is that don't get so caught up in the science. Get caught up in what feels right to you, and stop thinking so much. Like, we're so heady. Everything is intellectualized. Oh, well, this study says this, but then a year later another study comes out and contradicts that. Or in the same year, there's studies contradicting each other. Like, at the end of the day, you're choosing which science to believe. So rather than choosing to, use the science as a religion in a sense, let's start to reconnect with, our own intuition, our own gut feeling. I can say, there aren't many times where I ignored my gut and I was happy with the result. When I was up in Vermont, we were playing Monopoly. Jackie and I were playing Monopoly. I haven't played that since I was like 10 years old. But there was one moment where I had like $400 and I could buy the $400 property, and then I would have like $3 left. And I was like, intellectually, I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to land on this again. Like, statistically, I should be able to make it around the board and not go bankrupt. But my gut was like, dude, don't buy it. Don't buy it. And I was like, and I bought it. Next turn, I lose. Instantaneous feedback. I was like, there's something about this gut that cannot be fathomed the way that we think. And again, science is a very intellectual process. And, not to get too far on that tangent, but one thing, I like to play the what if game. What if the basis of science is just, 1% off? What if Newtonian physics is just a little bit off? What if we're based on a model that is just a little bit off, and then over time that 1% just starts hiking up until all of a sudden we're going the wrong direction. So I think to kind of get out of that intellectual, and not to say the intellectual is bad, it's been the greatest gift of humanity. It's allowed us to be in this space here, but it's finding the balance of, that brain, that gut, that intuition, and finding the harmony within that I think that's what really brings it together. And that's one thing that I think Ice and Iron really encompasses. We have almost like a scientific approach to why we start with, building up energy, followed by working out, followed by breath work, followed by ice bath, followed by connection in the beginning and end. Like, that is intellectual. We're thinking about that structure, but then within that, we're balancing that in with letting our intuition guide us. And, sometimes we'll go into it and it's like, oh, Ed, do you want to lead the breath work today? Yeah, sure. Then all of a sudden, I'm leading the breath work, or Jordan's leading the breath work, and it's like, but it just kind of happened. It's, we kind of let go of that idea and being so attached to an idea that we allowed other things to flow out of us. And I think that that's a place that I hope to and plan to be a part of guiding humanity and as a whole beyond Ice and Iron is just, getting back to the balance of, the brain, the heart, the gut. And I think that's one thing, spending a lot of time in Asia when I lived out there for 4 months and, being in, the middle of nowhere, Sri Lanka, only American, only person 6 feet tall, white skin, blue eyes. Like, traffic would stop. We'd be, my friend owned a tea farm. We'd be going in his truck to go pick up some tea. Not exaggerating, hundreds of people would stop in the sidewalk to look at me in the truck and be like, what the fuck? Like, what? Just pure confusion and curiosity. And, being in that place of just seeing, another side of the world that I never experienced. We can hear about intellectually. We can think, oh, this is a very impoverished area. Oh, they don't have cell phones. They don't have internet. We can hear all this, but we don't get it until we feel it and we feel with our heart instead of thinking up here. Yeah. And that was just a completely, coming back from that in 2017, my whole life shifted. Like, I was not the same person anymore. So part of my mission is, unite the Western philosophies, which has many great benefits and a lot of downsides, and the Eastern philosophy, which has a lot of benefits but many downsides, and taking the best pieces from all these different tools across the world, from different people, and bringing them into a place that's, able to metabolize in the best way forward, and finding that balance within ourselves and within the world around us.
I'm seeing this image right now in my mind of a cross, right? And I'm hearing you say, we're in harmony. First of all, us three are in harmony because I'm hearing the words you're saying, and they're actually growing in my mind in visualizations. And I'm seeing this cross. We're talking about integrating East and West, and we're talking about integrating the brain and the heart.
Right. I like that.
The longest journey we're ever going to take is from our head to our heart. That's where we need to be. And when we're in our head too much, we're confused. We're in that fog. We are uncertain. We are disempowered. When we get into our heart, what does the heart say? The heart doesn't worry about a thing. That's what love is. Love is not worried. Love is not in a rush, right? When we get into our heart, we can take it easy, and we can arrive and participate in other loving activities, which is what we're trying to create with Ice and Iron.
Yeah.
Right? Come into your heart. We don't need more confused, unguided consciousness, more unconsciousness like that in the world. Consciousness in the world like that. Right?
Yeah.
Feel empowered.
Yeah, feel empowered. Love does not think. And that's a saying that came to me last week. A friend shared a video. Long story short, I watched it for a reason. Love doesn't think. And, you know, we're doing what feels good. Ice and Iron feels good. And to touch back upon the cloudiness, the uncertainty of the world, the out of balance, so to speak, we've lost our elders. Now, that's a saying that resonated with me that I find very true. And I'm not saying that I'm an elder or Ed's an elder or Rob's an elder, but to some degree we are. And we witness it when we go to the beach and we're working in. We're doing swings, we're jumping up and down, humming, right? Doing different things that charge you up. And that's planting a seed. That is being an elder. That's doing and being. That's encompassing, embodying the change, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. That's what we are doing. So we are the new elders to some degree. We absolutely are. And everyone that shows up, they're my elder. Even if I'm more experienced in one area or another, you know, I'm learning from everyone that shows up. Just like I learned from both of you. Just like I'm learning right now, being in this beautiful studio that I feel thankful to be in. It's really cool. You know, we're the new elders. We've lost the elders. So it's time to bring it back, you know. Pick each other up. Lead the way. Build the bridge. That's another tidbit. It's a really powerful... If anyone is lucky enough to watch right now, they're seeing a big smile on Eddie and Jordan's face, and Rob as well, that there's a song called Build a Bridge. And to me, that is such a powerful metaphor, analogy for what I feel is a big part of my dharma, my purpose on the planet, is uniting the Eastern philosophies of, you know, traditional Chinese medicine or more holistic thinking with the allopathic Western standpoint on health. You know, living in your head, intellectual, a pill for every ill. We're building a bridge between the two. I'm not against modern medicine, but I do think that if someone has a headache, maybe check in with your hydration and breathing and rest, right? Maybe get barefoot on the ground, like basic things. And that's what I see as building the bridge. You know, without rambling too much, we are building a bridge, stone by stone, from the West Coast culture of California, San Diego vibe, laid back. Like, I feel a big difference in the energy out there versus in a humdrum city around Boston, even around the South Shore. I'm not driving in the city all the time. Rarely. Maybe once a month, I don't know. But even in the outskirts, everyone's going. And like you just said, Ed, love is not in a rush. So I'm in no rush. I have everything I need. I have the time to accomplish whatever I want to do. And we're doing this. We're doing Ice and Iron. We're doing big things. And I guess we're here to just spread the message and invite anybody that has not had the chance to come on through. Agreed. I feel it will change your life.
It'll change mine.
It has changed mine already. My life has been changed.
Yeah. If someone shows up, you're going to change my life. You're going to help me. Right? And all I want to do is help you.
We need them as much as they may need us.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, something you said with the elders that stuck out to me is the fact that we've lost the elders, you know. Nowadays, you know, a lot of our elders are stuck in, you know, elderly homes, on pharmaceutical drugs, not really sharing the wisdom that they've learned. And that was, again, one thing from the Eastern culture is, like, you know, the elders live with them. Even when I lived in LA, you know, my boss and his family, they were Guatemalan. They have a very tight family culture. You know, you got 3 different generations in that household. You know, that's pretty cool. You know, we tend to be individuals in America, which has, again, there's pros and cons to both. But without going too far into that, you know, moving forward, we want to create a culture, or we are creating a culture. Words are very powerful.
We have created a culture.
We have created and are continuing to evolve a culture that is focused around what we perceive to be the best aspects from many different disciplines. And that's where, new people coming in, they bring in, more mastery from different disciplines that we can utilize to harmonize ice and iron the best way possible to move forward. So, I'd love to kind of, with that, move into 2021 and what that's going to look like in a short little preview for people, not get too attached to an idea, because we're going to change and evolve, and what we say now could be completely different than what happens in 2021, because we're open to any and all changes. So, I'd love to just hear from you both, what is your vision and our vision? I think we're all pretty tuned into the same frequency of what 2021 will bring for ice and iron.
What 2021 will bring for ice and iron? Well, we want to keep it going. And I can't even go too far into that without really just appreciating what you guys both said about the elders. I just think about, being a good ancestor, right? Like, if we're not making the world a better world for our grandchildren's grandchildren, what are we doing, right? Do we need more of us falling in line and, not settling into our heart? So when I settle into my heart and I do what I want to do, and I want to create a better world for the young ones, right? To be an elder, that's someone who's bringing people together to create a better world for the future. That's so important to me. That's so important. And for 2021, I just want to keep it going at Ice and Iron. I want to continue to build the container, right? Build the infrastructure of the container. We just added a 4-person sauna, which has been an absolute treat. It was a dream that I didn't think was possible, to convert my space and really create a little retreat center, like a holistic playland, right? In the house with great food. So I want to continue to grow the infrastructure of the home. And I also, I see us, as we have discussed, to be able to bring Ice and Iron to other locations, right? We want to, we first tagged Ice and Iron as a men's monthly meetup, right? Which we will continue to have. Men's monthly meetups once a month, where men can come and be men. We can talk about what's on our mind. We're not worried about the feminine energy. We're not judging the feminine energy. We're not, really perceiving the feminine energy. We just disconnect from that, and we settle into our masculine energy and be men. Then I think a co-ed event, an integrative event in the same month, is also so healing, so medicinal for my soul and for everybody else. To hear, women have so much to offer. Like, we are, this patriarchal society, where, you got to look up to the one guy at the top of the pyramid. Like, that's not the move. I feel that the matriarchal, a matriarchal container, where you have women, right? Women involved in offering women are using different hardware than us, right? They're playing chess and we're playing checkers. I'm sorry to say, it is. It doesn't mean that we really need a good checker player every once in a while.
Right.
Every woman will tell you she does. King me. But so to go back to really streamline that, we want to have a men's event. We want to have a co-ed event. We want to continue to grow the container. And we also want to get the container mobile, right? Where we can deliver it to, say, there's a group of guys that want to have a more conscious bachelor party, right? Instead of, hey, let's go play golf and drink 16 beers on the golf course and smoke cigars, and then let's go to the casino, and then let's get hammered and play dice, right? Play blackjack. Cool. It's great. Been to some great bachelor parties like that. But how about, hey, let's have the Ice and Iron guys come by. Let's build up some energy. Let's connect. Let me tell my friends how much I appreciate them, right? Let's go into some breath work. Let's play. Let's put some music on. Let's, turn the atmosphere into, like a little, a workshop, if you will. Let's have a workout. Let's maybe sweat it out. Let's go in the ice and get weird, like, holy shit, I'm scared. I'm going into the ice. Like, that would be a really cool little engagement party, right? For a group of people that might not be close to Quincy or might be close to Quincy. So I we are going to have Ice and Iron as a wellness retreat event for hire.
Wellness on wheels.
Wellness on wheels, right? Women, men, co-ed, anything, right? We're just going to bring all of our toys, the trampolines, the weights, the ropes, the punching bag, the tires, the sauna, the ice tubs. We'll bring it to you, right? So I see that as an option. What are you guys envisioning for 2021?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had this chat, delivering the service, delivering really the experience, because it's one thing to show up and hang at Crescent Street Cafe. That's always beautiful, right? That's a super time. But not everyone is ready to drive to a new home or a new area and be around new people. But I see it as a lot more, say, attainable and reasonable for one to get this opportunity for us to show up and just bring you a container of ice, multiple tubs, maybe some food, and sharing what we have learned that has helped us be more whole, be more open. Like you guys said, you learn it from everyone you meet, everything you go through, right? We learn something from it. So I feel that a huge intention of mine, and I see for Ice and Iron, is delivering this experience. Wellness on wheels, right? A one-day event where it's like, hey, we're going to show up and bring you everything you need. Just have an open mind and an open heart and wear a smile.
I love it. Yeah, and I feel the same way as everything you guys both said, so I won't get too far into that because I think we're on the same wavelength there. And to me, it's just exciting. Again, we can look at the future as uncertainty, as cloudy, as foggy, but once we have the light and we shine that light and we have a direction of where we're going, an intention of where we're going, that uncertainty and that fear can be focused from this fuzziness to be exciting and to be fun and to be purposeful and to be grounded, not from a place of fear, uncertainty, disempowerment. What do we focus on the opposite? And that's where I see 2021 going. As a collective, I think we're starting to see a mass awakening of consciousness. I don't use that term lightly, and I feel that we are, as we talked about before, we're pioneering that over here. It's being done. Not to say we're the first ones doing this by any means. It's happening all over the world. But in our, little microclimate of south of Boston, Massachusetts, we're pioneering that area in a very historic land, which I think is really cool, and I'm honored to be a part of. And I really have a lot of appreciation and, gratitude for everyone who has supported me as Rob Carney, as Whole Health Connections, who supported you both as individuals, as Ed and Jordan, and as a collective, as an Ice and Iron. I'm appreciative on every level. Me as the human, me as the Whole Health Connections, us as Ice and Iron, just having that, that faith, just having a little bit of faith by, even just a few people. You get, one positive comment on this video, whether it's in person or on the comment section, like, that's cool. That's made an impact, and that's really, I see us just impacting, one life at a time, 2 lives at a time, 10 lives at a time, 15 lives at a time, until it continues to spread out. So, with that being said, I'd love to kind of maybe go around and just have some final messages for the listeners, and just, whether it's a word of encouragement, whether it's a recap, or just, just share a piece.
Great place to start is gratitude. I've been so grateful to have a home, grateful to have brothers like you guys, grateful to have people show up at Ice and Iron and support and outpour their energy, love, their gratitude, their unique contributions. It's an honor. I'm flattered. Today is the best day ever. This is the best of all time. We're sitting in a studio right now talking about Ice and Iron. There's nothing better than this, right? The audience, if you happen to have been at one of the Ice and Iron events, it was probably the best day ever then. It probably was. And we want to keep that going, right? Courage is a love affair with the unknown. Courage is a love affair with the unknown. There's so much unknown out there, right? What's knowable is your heartbeat, your breath, what makes you happy, what really lights you up. What lights me up is hanging out, playing, offering my gifts as a chef, holding space, playing. I'm really excited to where it's going to go. I'm excited to have have more gratitude. Gratitude is just going to continue to build. And, I see so much magic down the line, right? With different events, holiday parties, delivering wellness on wheels, retreats, in other locations up north, out west, down south, experimenting with different medicines, different modalities, connecting with people you didn't know existed, right? Some of the most magical, unique people in our life are unmet, right? We haven't even met them yet, right? So there might be someone listening right now. There might be someone that doesn't even know Ice and Iron exists. They're going to come into our life, right? Just like Mass Music Radio has come into our life. We didn't even know they existed. They're going to come in and they're going to just offer another outgrowth, right? And, Jordan, we're building the bridge, right? We're growing the root. We're planting the seeds. We're not in a rush, right? What would love do now, right? Would love, go isolate yourself and really worry about the uncertainty and tune into the narratives that keep you in fear? No. In love, you want to connect. You want to play. You want to show up, right? Show up. Live, right? This blue planet, right? It's beautiful, right? And guess what? When our life's over, we're not coming back to it. We're never going to have another chance in these crazy times to be the love and be the light. We're here to do this. That's why we're here. So let's go. Today is the best day ever. Let's go. Let's do this. Show up. If you're feeling a charge, listening to this right now, well, let that be the guide. Come on. Maybe I need to meet you, right? Maybe you need to meet Jordan. Maybe you need to meet Rob. Maybe we need to throw high fives. Maybe we need to sit down and get into silence for 10 minutes and really feel each other's energy on a different level, right? Maybe, right? Courage is a love affair with the unknown. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Today's the best day ever. I'm just focusing on it right now. I can't wait, right? Because I'm not getting up in the clouds and the fog. I'm coming down into the light, into what I love with you guys and the possibility of meeting new people. I'm all charged up.
Love
Let's everybody.
Go.
Thank you for listening. Thank you, Mass Music Radio. I love you guys. And I mean, there's love in this room right now, and I mean that.
Heck yeah. So building on that with gratitude, feeling really just thankful for the opportunity that we have. I pray to take advantage of my opportunities and my blessings and be ready for my opportunities when they present themselves. And the answer to every prayer is yes. Now I feel we have a huge opportunity to change the world, and we are changing the world by one mind at a time. That's how we're going to do it. It takes, if you improve 1% every day, in 3 months, you're a totally different person, right? So you become like the 5 people you hang out with most, or maybe it was paid in full when he says, you become like the 5 people you see, first 5 people you see every day, right? So if I'm seeing Ed and Rob and more open-minded, beautiful souls show up and hang with me, that brings me way up. And I'm on top of the world. I'm charged up. And I'm ready to go shine that light elsewhere, So I'm just really thankful. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to bring the woo-woo to you. So woo-woo, I mean, we can interpret that any way we want. I think a little woo-woo is good. And we're doing some different things. That's all woo-woo is. People look at acupuncture as woo-woo. Breath work is that realm, maybe meditation. But these are ancient practices. We're not rediscovering anything. We're not inventing anything. We're rediscovering ancient modalities and putting them into application today. And they work. Come try them out. I'm sure you'll feel it. So we're doing what feels good, following our heart, letting the heart be the compass, leading the way, doing our best to.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother. Yeah, and so, something I've been really coming to, as I said, with a lot of those negative thoughts earlier, and what I don't want is really just settling into this place of what do I want and what can I do right now, today, in this moment. Like, not scrolling on Instagram. It's not bringing any value to my life. So trying to just find the whole best day ever mantra, which we could have a whole freaking podcast about that. It kind of started as like a fun little thing we just kind of said because it was like kind of fun and playful and like, brought the spirits up, but it's kind of been like tattooed in my brain now that I'm looking for the best in every day. And that has fundamentally changed my life. Like really in the past few months, just, every day, something bad happens. Oh, but it's the best day ever. So let me look for the things that reinforce that thought to why it's the best day ever. So I'm looking for those little pieces along the way, every step of the way throughout the day. And that's just been really life-changing. And, trying not to get too caught up in what could happen or what might happen or what should happen. Again, that's all up here. It's not living in the present moment. And, coming back to love. Love is presence. And if we're, coming from a place of past or future, that's not being in a place of love. That's not in a place of presence. So for me, I'm really just focused on, as I said, planting seeds, being present, and, acting now. Now is the time to do anything you've ever wanted. And we can look at all the reasons why we shouldn't do that, we can't do that. We can enforce that belief of why this is the worst time to try anything new. Or we can look at the other side of the spectrum and figure out all the reasons why this is the best time to do all those things that we've ever wanted, to try all those new things, to plant all those new seeds, see what sprouts, plant a lot of seeds, see what sprouts. And, that's kind of what Ice and Iron started. It was a seed. We're going to do it once a month, and if it grows, it grows. If not, it doesn't. And it's sprouting. So, to me, just to kind of bring everything full circle, for a lot of people, I know this has been a really tough year. And, I have a lot of compassion for those people. And, part of me wishes that I did more in the past to, help some of those people. But then the other part of me recognizes, I got to have my own cup full before I start pouring into other people's cups. And I wasn't in a place earlier this year to be filling up other people's cups as much as I would like to. Because, as we said, we still get caught up in the chaos and the uncertainty. So I was filling up my own cup a lot this year. And that's okay. It's not selfish to focus on yourself for a while. I think that there's a stigma. It's like, oh, you're just focusing on you. It's selfish. Like, no, motherfucker. Like, focusing on
sacred selfishness.
Sacred to care for self.
Well, exactly. So we have to do that. It comes back to Paul Chek, I, we, all. If you're focusing on the all without focusing on the I or the we, you're not helping anyone. Right. It's not sustainable. And that's what, the world of, politicians, the way I view it, they're so focused on the all, they've lost track of the I and the we. They're so focused on everything else that they're so disconnected from themselves. So over time, they just become so disconnected from reality.
I'll take nail on the head for 500.
Thank you, Ryan Sprague, for that one. So, well put, dude.
And yeah, so it's just, focusing on the light. And we're going to continue to shine the light. So, if you're in the darkness and the sun right now, we're going to come to the lights. We're having a fucking party over here. We're just doing some ice baths, doing some breath work, jumping on trampolines, jumping rope. We're
bumping
just tunes, eating food.
Having fun.
So if you want to come in the light party, we want you to be here. Yeah. And if you're not in Massachusetts or New Hampshire or Maine or somewhere in New England,
chip in some dough and call the Ice and Iron boys. We'll come up there and make it pop.
And the other and beyond that, let us know. Like, we can do a virtual podcast. Like, we want to connect with like-minded people, however we can. Right. So if you're listening to this and you're not here, don't think, oh, there's nothing I can do. reach out to one of us, all of us, whoever, and let's figure out a way that we can connect virtually. And that's collaborate. Because that's one of the most beautiful pieces of the modern age, is the fact that we can collaborate with people across the globe. So just to kind of not ramble too much more, if you're watching this, you're not in Massachusetts, or for whatever reason, you don't feel called to ice and iron at this time, that's okay. First of all, I want to invite you to push through that discomfort and try it. But beyond that, reach out to us so that we can collaborate and we can continue to shine this light, not just in Boston, Massachusetts, but spread that light so it's focused on the rest of this world. So, what a day.
Best ever.
Best ever. Super. There's many quotes coming up. One thing I'm really thinking is start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. And Arthur Ashe said that. He was an older tennis player in his day, changed the world through his actions, and that was a saying that really resonated with me. Being the change, using what you have and doing what you can. We're doing what we can, and I just feel that, like Rob said, if you're listening to this or watching this, this is a message for you to maybe step out of your comfort zone and, tell us what you are open to learning about, what we can do to help you. What's something different that you didn't get to learn about from your elders, right? That you think, hey, this is something I need. We're no gurus here, right? But we may have something for you to help you help yourself. And yeah, we're living in an uncertain time when it's tough to meet new people and connect and be isolated. Loneliness was an epidemic in the early 2000s. Never mind 2019. Never mind. Okay, now you're really on your own, right? You're not on your own. So everybody, you are not on your own.
Right.
And sometimes it's good to be a little bit disobedient, which is another great saying that Thoreau said, that disobedience is the foundation of liberty, and the obedient must be slaves. So be a little rebellious in terms of trying something new. I'm not saying to not wear a mask in the store. Follow your heart on that one. But be a rebel in your own light in terms of trying something new. Ice and iron is something new.
Amen.
Hit us up.
Oh.
Be the change.
Well, I just want to thank you, Shlomo, for putting this together. For everyone listening and watching, this is the first podcast episode I've done and we've done that's in a professional studio. And, when we first came here last week to check it out, we were originally like, should we do it in 2 weeks? Should we do it in 3 weeks? Like, no, let's do it next week. Like we knew this was the next step. So I'm just really excited and grateful for the fact that we're podcasting in a studio. It's not, not us or me sitting behind my little computer on a Zoom call, recording with someone, which is great. And I love doing that. But it's cool to, just be in the same space and have, someone just who's really good at what he does, just, really putting this together and holding the container for us. He's holding the container so we can show our container of ice and iron. It's like one of those little Russian dolls. There's always
babushka.
Yeah, there's always another layer.
Russian nesting dolls.
So, with that being said, maybe one final word to leave everyone with, and then wrap it up.
Yeah, just don't. If you find yourself in uncertainty, come into certainty. This is certainly happening right now. We're in a studio recording Ice and Iron. You are certainly listening to us on the phone right now. You are, or on your device. You are certainly alive. You are breathing right now if you're listening to this. You are happening, right? You're happening. We're happening. 2020 is happening. How do you want it to continue to happen? That's certain. We don't need to be uncertain. Come into what's certain. I certainly want to connect with new people. I certainly want to play. I certainly want to do what I love with the people that I love. Focus on what's certainly happening. This is happening. Thank you, Shlomo. Thank you, Rob Carney. Thank you, Jordan Chartier. We show up every day as new people, and you guys are beautiful today. And just such an honor to be, in this container of strength, right? That was built by Shlomo, and that is on another dimension with us three. I mean, flattered, right? Smitten, flattered, and just poured out and dumbfounded. Let's go.
Yeah, really anything is possible. I think of KG winning for us back in the day. Anything is possible, right? There's nothing that's impossible. You look at that word, I am possible. That's I'm possible, right? So break over that impossibility wall with forced acts of courage, which is love. Keeping the heart open and letting your heart be the compass. To me, that rings true. What we've all gone through the past few months have been a test of your resilience. And I think those that are going to follow through on their path and purpose and be resilient, we're going to be better for it. But if we're going to doom and gloom and have stinking thinking and live in that world, I'm not saying that, my thoughts are always in this gratitude place, because no, you're standing right in the middle, ideally, of that light and dark space, right? But it feels better. It feels way better to be in the love space and the abundant space than the scared, lacking, fear, greed, right? I am not worthy. Some people don't think they're worthy to drink spring water, It's like, you're worth it to go find a spring. You're worth it to go outside and get barefoot and eat real food, like basic things, guys.
Your time is worth it, right? You don't have to rush from point A to point B. You are worthy of self-care time.
Yeah, and it's sacred to care for self, which is what you guys were just saying. That's something we learned through our mentors, Care for yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. And we're on the plane yesterday. We can have that talk another day about being woken up and told to put a muzzle on, which, if you can't laugh, you'll cry. I resonate with that statement. I don't know if everyone else does.
We were sleeping and we had our mask on.
But I was told, waking up, put it on. I was like, okay. I'm like, is the plane going to go down if it's not on? I don't know. But they even say with the oxygen mask, which they say put yours on first. And we all know that. But it was just a good little reminder of, like, care for yourself first so you can care for others. So come on and show up and grow, baby. Let's have some fun. Don't overthink it. Let love lead the way.
Be here now. Let love lead the way. Hit us up, Shlomo. Thank you again. Thank you for everyone listening and watching. Much, appreciate you all for your support. Every single one of you, especially if you made it this far.
We're going all the way.
We're going all the way.
Going all the way up.
It's the best day. This is the best day and the best of all time.
Super.
We're going all the way.
I hope. Thank you, everyone. Peace.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Whole Health of Rob Carney Podcast with my Ice and Iron brothers, Ed and Jordan. So to follow Jordan on Instagram, you can go to the Chi Golf Coach, and he is so incredibly talented with all things movement. Anytime I feel my form is off with anything, he always finds the tiniest little details. Maybe it's a slight hip adjustment, maybe it's a shoulder rotation, whatever it is. Jordan always finds the spot that allows me to be my best physically, to really get the most out of my workouts, to prevent injuries, and really just have a holistic body. And Jordan's calming presence is just so grounding to be around. He's always breathing deeply, always reminding me to breathe, always reminding me to be present in this moment. So much love to my brother Jordan. Would love for you to check him out there. If you're in the Boston area, you're looking for someone who's going to help you with your movement, your fitness, and your overall holistic lifestyle, Jordan is your dude. And my brother Ed, follow him at chef_coach_, so 2 underscores, Madden. So it's chef_coach__Madden on Instagram. And just like his caption says, he is a chef, he is a coach, he is a master of all things holistic health. He has really pinpointed his expertise on the fact of hot and cold therapy mixed with breathwork, mixed with movement, all things that Ice and Iron stands for. And he operates Crescent Street Cafe out of his home in Quincy, which is a holistic health center for really helping us to rehabilitate our own health, find peace and harmony within ourselves using the power of hot, cold therapy, movement, nutrition, breathwork, you name it. So again, if you are in the Boston area, you cannot go wrong working with these two dudes. I can give you my seal of approval. I can give you my word that these two have nothing but the purest intentions. And as I said, their hearts are made of gold. They are two incredible dudes that I am so incredibly grateful to be connected with. And I love you both. If you're listening to this, thank you so much for all that you both do. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I would not be the man I am today without you two. So I want to thank you both. Much love to you. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please, please, please check out these guys. Give them a follow. Give them a like. Shoot them a message. They are so open, so happy to chat with people. And again, if you're in the Boston area, come to Nice and Iron. If you're looking for something more one-on-one, hit up one of these two guys. Movement, holistic lifestyle coaching, hot and cold therapy, whatever you need, these two guys can provide for you. So check them out. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this podcast, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you're listening. We'd really appreciate a subscribe, a like, a share, whatever you can do to spread this podcast. I think that there's a lot of great value that I would love for people to hear what Jordan and Ed have to say in here. So thank you so much. And as always, if you're looking to upgrade your nutrition, shoot me a message. Whole Health Connections is designed to find you the best organic products on the market, give you some discounts in there, and really just make your lifestyle a lot easier. Eating healthy doesn't have to be that difficult. We can really find some of the best products out there that all you have to do is take some room temperature dried powder, mix it up with a little water, take some capsules here, some enzymes there, whatever you need. Get your digestion right, get your nutrition right. Whole Health Connections is here to support you with that. So I want to thank you for listening. If you're interested in joining us at Ice and Iron, shoot us a message on Ice and Iron on the Instagram or any of us individually. If you're looking to grow your own superfoods business in the organic superfoods field with a network marketing model, shoot me a message. I'd be more than happy to hook you up. We've got a discount code for you to get you going, $50 off your first order or 25%, whatever is more, with Purium Health products. So again, I could go on and on about how great these two dudes are, how grateful I am, and how happy I am to be having the opportunity to share our organic nutrition, to share the community of Ice and Iron, to share space with these two guys, to share space with you. So, without rambling too much, which I'm sure you noticed from this podcast you do, I hope I didn't say which I'm pretty sure I said at least 300 times in this podcast. Thank you so much. Much love. Jordan, Ed, love you both. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for listening. Peace.